let me ask you this: what was the worst night on the road?
We walked in Kolkata, which is a very, it's known for being a dirty city, right? And so we tried to find a hotel at 4 a.m. There's no street lights. Everything was dark without flashlights. We are walking in between people sleeping on the floor. We see like this hotel. There's no lights outside. There's nothing. We open the door. It's knocking on the bed. Like, so we get in the room like this, like this. And then we look at the bathroom and like...
It's bigger than the bedroom.
It's bigger than the bedroom.
How did you guys get into magic, like, in the first place? Like, what was your inspiration to try it?
We still have different stories, so go with yours. No, you go with yours. You go with yours. You go with yours. Can I swear now?
Yeah.
Go with yours. My influences are French, actually. Because I was born and raised in France, so I...
Is that where you get your name? Sorry.
The Charles the French name? Oh, that came... I think I told you... Did I tell you before where it came
sure.
from?
No, where, yeah.
No? Okay, you want to know?
I do.
Okay,
Charles the French and Tada are a magical comedy duo whose incredible tricks and infectious wit have left audiences around the world awestruck and in stitches. Having worked together for more than 8 years, these two have built a massive online following, including their YouTube page of over 1 million subscribers that features their signature charm and acerbic perspectives. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tada and Charles the French. Hey guys, right now about only 25% of you are subscribed to this channel, and those are some rookie numbers. We gotta pump those up. So please, if you like this content, like, subscribe, share, and we'll bring it to you every week. Thank you, Charles the French. Thank you, Tada, for coming and sitting down with me today. We're gonna... What is guy? I can't even keep up with what you guys are doing already. Before we get into the...
You got my herpes already.
There's probably plenty of germs exchanged between you two over the years, I think, so it's probably... All right, so let's get into...
Can you be serious?
I'm trying to be. You guys don't make it easy. All right, so before we get into the fun stuff, we're gonna see some fun stuff later, do some jokes, have some magic.
Yep.
Right, hopefully.
Magic.
That's the billing. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to that. But before we get to that, I want to get your story. So let's just start off. How did you two become partners in this entertainment business that you found yourself in?
Well, we met a couple minutes ago.
Charles knows this exact
We met a
detail.
couple minutes ago when you forced us to be a duo for the podcast. No, we met.
Gun to your head.
So both of us, we are professional magicians. We do that for a living. And we accidentally studied, not accidentally, but it turns out we studied in the same university, right? That's right. When we met, I was in my first year, he was in his last year.
Yeah.
And there was like the annual show of the university, and I know that they were struggling to find like good acts for it, and so they called me separately and they called him separately and said, hey, everything is like dancing and singing, can you do magic? They told me, and they told him, can he do magic as well? And so we just met backstage. We found out backstage that there was another magician on the show. And so we met, we chose to hang out.
Was it like right after the show? Right after our performance, actually. The magic performance. So I finished the show, you finished the show, and then we met after.
Actually, he was just done. He was towards the beginning of the program and was at the end. And so when he got off stage, I was walking to Senbai, and so he's like, hey, you Charles, you do magic? And I was like, no. And then I made up a whole career that I didn't have, and then we met, and that was but we met on January 25th, 2015.
Oh, he remembers the date.
6:44 p.m.
Yes.
Wow, you guys have an anniversary.
That could be correct. Actually,
I remember.
Could be correct.
I remember.
That does feel around.
I made it up.
Nice. Good showtime.
And so actually, when I first met him, he was a part of a duo. Like he was doing a magic duo with someone else, and for a while for like maybe 2-3 months when we first started working together, we were a trio.
Yeah, trio.
Oh,
Just like now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But then the third guy decided to kind of take a step back. And now it's just been us.
It's been us.
It's been great.
For like what? Almost 8 years now.
Yeah.
sounds like it.
Yeah.
More than 8 years. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. So, well, then, how did you guys get into magic, like in the first place? Like, what was your inspiration to try it?
We still have different stories, so go with yours. No, you go with yours. You go with yours. You go with yours. Can I swear now?
Yeah.
Go with yours.
We're past 7 seconds.
So I've been doing magic for 22 years. I started when I was 22. So you do the calculation. I'm just joking. I was doing magic for 22 years, and I started doing...
You started at 12 years old,
I
right?
started at 12,
Okay.
but now I'm like 33, so I've been doing it for 22 years.
There we go.
My style of magic from Charles is I do close-up magic, mentalism. I'm very I do intimate stuff, right?
Sounds
and,
hot.
So he does a lot of like walk around in restaurants and
Yeah.
everything.
Right,
He's
yeah.
very good at that, cocktail parties.
Thank you.
He's amazing. No, you gotta
And-
give him credit when credit is not due. You gotta.
Nice, nice. And my friend showed me this one trick, and that blew me away.
Yeah.
So from then on, I'm just like, you know what? Because I'm a very curious person by nature. So I'm just like, okay, I saw that thing, and I just want to figure out how it's done. And I just got bit by the bug, and then I just started, self-taught and everything. So
It was a mosquito.
mosquito, yeah, right?
Yeah,
And that's
the
pretty
magic
much it. Like,
mosquito.
long story short,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was in Dubai.
That was in Dubai.
Yes.
That's
Dubai.
right. A place where
He-
there's not much material,
Yeah.
so I had to find lots of stuff online, like books and stuff.
Yeah.
Really? Interesting. Well, cool. Started early then.
Yeah.
Did you start that early?
I started. I was 7 years old. My parents were traveling to Las Vegas, and they took me with them. They just wanted to gamble their troubles away, I guess. And they took me to see a magic show by a magician called Lance Burton, which
I know Lance Burton, yeah.
you do.
Yeah, I've been to Vegas tons of times, man.
Okay, so-
I'm familiar with the magic scene there.
So Lance Burton, he's considered by many as one of the best magicians ever. And so I saw his show and I was like, oh wow, I want to do that. And so that's why for me my specialty would be more, not really close up, but more stage and comedy magic.
Yep.
I like the idea of being I don't know. I like the idea of being on stage and entertaining like a crowd rather than one-on-one. I mean, I like it too, but I'm not as good as Tada is.
Close up is also one-on-one, but it's also a huge crowd.
Right,
It could be a crowd in a party, 10 people, 20 people.
Right, like you've got one volunteer that you're
Yeah.
doing the trick for, but
Multiple.
there's tons
Yeah,
of
yeah.
audience,
Correct,
right?
multiple.
Yeah.
But I think the close-up, the audience management skills are different, of course. And so that's why when we do shows together, there's really the best of both worlds.
So actually, after meeting
time.
Charles, I got to have a taste of stage.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then, we would teach each other our own styles. Like, I would teach him lots of close-up stuff. He would teach me lots of stage stuff. When we put it together, it's like, whoa, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We can swear.
Yeah, and we trust each other whenever we have a restaurant gig when we have to both walk around. I'll just listen to him and vice versa. I think.
It's student mentality, right?
Yeah.
Like you're always
Yeah, yeah.
learning from each other.
Exactly.
You're always learning from.
You're always learning pretty
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
You're always learning.
That's the important part,
Yeah.
especially because I feel like magic these days. A lot of here's another question for you guys.
Yeah.
Tricks get revealed. Everybody wants to figure out how does this stuff work. I mean, we all do, right?
Yeah.
So not all of us become practitioners, but we want to know the secret. So how do you feel about sort of these secrets being revealed?
My take is there are pros and cons to it. I'll go straight up to the pros. If there are lots of things revealed, like Charles would agree, lots of things revealed online, and we see that, that would only make us better in a way because we want to know, okay, that's what people knows. We can take it up a bit. We can make it more deceptive, more subtle, put more layers to it. So that's the pros. The cons, well, audience members, a very small percentage would be well educated in the magic realm. So
Right.
we as magicians, we're always a step ahead. We try to be a step ahead. So we try to avoid any audience going, oh, I know how that's done, and then later, bam, in your
Plus, very often the tricks revealed online are not tricks that professional magicians do. Like very often there are tricks that that children would do that. Well, sometimes we would teach those tricks to children. So sometimes they already know the tricks. We're about to teach them. But the tricks that we do, I think, are I don't think they can be revealed because people they want to know like very quick secrets.
Yeah.
Like very quick things.
Not elaborate.
No, not something that's elaborate. So I think for now we're safe unless.
Yeah. And plus, like all magicians have their own touches to tricks. So you can take one basic trick that everyone knows and turn it into your own, and no one will realize that that's really the basic.
Amazing. The world of subtleties here is very
Subtlety is
interesting.
very-
Yeah.
Because magic tricks, I mean, they all rely on a very few amount of principles, and like with one principle, you can do like a million tricks.
Right.
A million
that
and
will,
one
that will
tricks.
all look different from one another. So
No, I mean, there's certainly it's such a great show too. Like, I mean, people like that wonder, and it is about it's just like comedy too. You're trying to surprise, right? Like with your showmanship, and you're trying to subvert whatever it is people are expecting to happen. So
And make it look like it was meant to be the entire time.
exactly,
It's yeah.
very interesting art that you guys are engaged in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let me ask you then, how did you develop it into a comedy act? Like, how did you push it? I mean, and music, I guess we can tack that on there too, because that's a big part of your act as well. How did you bring it all
Touch
together?
a little bit on this, a little bit.
Sure.
We both, like, even before meeting each other, we already had like, well, for me, I love comedy. Always loved comedy, right? And then meeting Charles is like, oh, he loves comedy too. And then it's like, oh, magic, comedy. And then he started doing this whole musical thing recently. I would say it's recent. And then, we just sort of put that together. But we already had comedy background. We already had the itch to perform, right? Like that.
I think, well, yeah, I mean, for me personally, it was, every time I was doing a stage show, I would always try to make it funny as well. And then came to a point where I think in 2018, before we came up with that brand new duo show that we have, I did like a solo comedy magic show. Yep. But I try to make it more comedic than magical. Same for the musical bit. It's I think there's more comedy than music. And so, I mean, you saw the show. I'm not sure
Yeah,
what you
man,
thought.
it's a great show. Like, it's one of my. I think I saw it like 3 or 4 times too. Super
You're
fan
always in
over
the front
here.
seat.
Yeah, man.
And so and so for this new duo show that we have, it's it's a great combination of both comedy and magic, and we're still working on it, but we're prepared to like tour it by the end of the year.
Is it a new show, different than the
Brand
one that
new
I've
show.
seen?
Brand new show, yeah.
That's
Pretty much
exciting.
new.
It's this time it's both of us on stage, and it's
That's what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, how many times? So the show that I've seen, right? And what I love about your shows too, the comedy is always first. The music and the magic is like, it's there to highlight the comedy and make it better. So that's the important part. You're laughing the entire time. But where was it going with this? How many times did you do that show? I mean, you took it on tour. You guys were international with it.
Singing funny. I've done it. Trying to think, because India and everything. I've done it about 35 times, I think.
35? Yeah. And how many
35,
countries
40?
did you hit?
All the
six,
Southeast Asian
7,
countries,
right?
pretty much.
6, 7 about.
All the ASEAN countries,
Yes.
pretty much,
Oh,
except
okay,
for
cool.
Brunei.
But like when you go to India, you have to do. You cannot just do one city. You have to do 10 cities at a time. So that's why,
That makes sense.
Yeah. That was for Singing Funny, and now we're hoping to tour even more countries with this new duo show that I'm
That's a great thing,
announcing
like-
now.
Hey, it's out.
That's a great thing about being creative, It's like you just never run out of material. Like,
Yeah.
You can just keep going at it, and it never gets boring. That's why we do what we do,
But as of now, Singing Funny is done.
Okay.
So I think I'll perform it just one more time to film it as a special. But now, now
we
my
talked about that. Yeah,
now
yeah,
my
yeah.
efforts are focused on our show.
Yeah. Ooh, Netflix on the horizon. Come on.
It's, we'll see, but it's a show. We did this show, the duo show I'm talking about. We did it in 2021.
Yeah.
So we performed it 15 times at the Comedy Club Bangkok.
Okay.
All sold out, which was great.
Nice.
And so now we have it's like a 2.0.
It was like a test run.
Yeah.
It was like a test
Gotcha,
run.
Now it's
gotcha.
like a 2.0 version with brand new acts, like 90% new.
Finished, polished, ready to go. You right?
So it's like we're talking about magic. It's like when you think about us, it's two of us pretty much doing magic together. So like if you think about Thailand or Bangkok, hopefully you're thinking duo Charles and Tada.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, you're my most magicians I know.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, how many? You guys have a show coming up next Saturday, right?
That's right.
How many magicians are going to be on that show? And 5? We got
7.
7, including you guys.
So there's going to be 5 magicians. These are all our close friends. We have our friend Patrick Kun, we have Sagar, and we have VK Vich,
Yes.
right? And of course Charles and Tada. 5, we would say, top magicians in Thailand.
Well, I mean,
teaming up
I
together.
think it's fair to say, although you might disagree, but it's fair to say that I think it's really the top 5 magicians in Thailand in one show.
There you go, man.
Just, it's
Well, hey,
it's
heavy
not-
Look at the
hitters.
show and judge it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really the best of all worlds. So you have like Patrick, who has been on America's Got Talent, who is going to do illusions and some close up, like with camera, like projecting on the big screen. You have Vikevic, who is a master at manipulation, so he will. Yeah, you have a Cigar, who is a mentalist, and
Great
you have
mentalist.
and then you have us bringing the stupid and the
yeah.
poof in magic.
So again, the show, it encapsizes everything in magic.
Yeah.
Literally everything all in one.
So if you find one magician boring, just wait 10 minutes, and there's another one. No, that's
Just like stand up.
yeah.
It's like, yeah. No, that's fun, man. Well, I'm excited for it. I'll be coming.
No.
No? Oh, I'm not allowed. Okay.
Are you coming, by the way?
I would love to. Yeah. It's next Saturday, right?
Next Saturday and Sunday.
I'm
Yes.
done. I'm there, man. 2 shows.
2 shows a day. No, 4 shows total.
Oh, we may
4 shows total, 2 a day.
shows total.
we may have comps, right?
Do we? Yeah, so.
Would you like to
ask
bring a
up.
+1? Or?
Sure. I would love to.
We'll,
I gotta find a date. I don't know.
You can ask, yeah.
Yeah, we'll ask and I'll get to you, and you guys
Sounds
just
good.
come.
My
Yeah.
man. I appreciate it, guys.
No
I'm
worries.
excited.
Of course.
All right, so let's move on. So, okay, Charles the French, huge YouTube page, right? Over 1 million subscribers. How did you get started, and like when did it start taking off, and like when did you realize you had something special going on?
So it started. I remember Tada and I sometimes in 2015 we were talking about creating a YouTube
Yeah,
channel,
videos, yeah.
but we never really did anything with it. With
You
the idea.
started it.
And
You went
so
for it.
yeah,
There you go.
in I think it was in February 2016. I was in a class. I was in my classroom in a class, and the teacher had texted us via line group, "Hey, I'll be 20 minutes late." And I remember just writing a script on my notebook. It was called "What I Would Love to Hear in Class," and I just isolated myself in the classroom next door, and I just filmed it like just with the phone, like quickly like that. Then I uploaded it, and then out of nowhere, it gets like 10,000 views, which at the time was
First
like,
video?
whoa.
I remember like he told me about it he told me about it after he uploaded it. It was on
Yeah.
Facebook, and we weren't expecting anything. He wasn't expecting anything
Yeah.
for sure. And then we just kept looking at the views.
Yeah.
And it just went, okay, here's the honest truth. It went 50. Oh, it's pretty good. It's
pretty good.
It went 100. We're like, damn.
That's pretty
and
good.
And then it went like 500. Dude. And then I called up, Charles, dude, the views are. And then it just went up.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
And so then I did another video after. Then I called Tada to join in the third video, as well as the fourth, and I did some alone as well. But like
Yeah.
2-3 months after, he joined in as a director and a writer, and so now it's a 2-man job.
It's
Yeah,
literally a
much.
2-man job.
Yeah.
It's like we share the same roles, minus I don't do the editing. He does the editing. He's the face, right?
Yep.
The
And it's
nerd.
like-
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the characters.
Yeah.
That's one of the characters. Yeah,
And yeah, I think the milestones that we had I think 2 significant milestones in the first year. So it was the first time. It was a video in May 2016 called "How You Would Love Your Exam to Go."
Right.
That was the first video to reach like 1 million views. Which when that happened, it's
On
like
YouTube, or is it
Facebook.
Facebook?
So
Facebook.
The thing is, yeah, we talk about YouTube, but we were known on Facebook
Yeah.
for like 2 years before YouTube took off. So we were uploading.
I was like, Charles, let's do YouTube.
yeah.
Let's do YouTube.
And so we were uploading both at the same time on Facebook and YouTube. And for 2 years, Facebook was super successful. And then out of nowhere, Facebook just shoo, and YouTube luckily YouTube went shoo really high at the same time. And the 2 milestones, yeah, the first video in 3 months after that gets like 1 million views.
yeah, it was pretty.
And then in September 2016, we did a video on the iPhone 7.
He wrote that in 40 minutes.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Filmed it, right? Wrote it, filmed it in 1 hour.
iPhone.
In 1 hour, it was so quick. And then as soon as we
You never know,
uploaded,
man.
as soon as we upload on Facebook, it got 50 million views. It got 20 million in one night. And I remember we did not realize it because we were at a concert.
We were at
you
a
and I.
Simple Plan concert.
We were at the Simple.
Simple Plan.
Simple
we were
Plan
enjoying
concert.
it so
Dude,
much.
nice.
It was a
Yeah.
highlight, and then after the show, we're like,
They were like, wait, what?
oh,
Double highlight.
50 million. Oh,
Hell yeah.
What just happened? And then and then it's weird because I was getting emails and calls from like known channels who were like Lad Bible,
Lad
9gag,
Bible.
those
Yeah, dude.
Unilad, and they said, hey, we want to re-upload your video, can we? And then it gets to the point where they're like, all right, we're going to re-upload yours, we're gonna pay you for it, and we're the only ones who can re-upload it. Is that cool? Yeah, so they did that, and yeah, and then I think it feels weird, but it was the most viewed video about the iPhone 7 ever.
True.
Like it beat we were not the only ones to do skits this year, but it beat like the Stephen Colbert show and everything who did.
We
video
heard
as
along
well.
the vines that Tim Cook saw the video.
Yes.
Oh, really?
One of the teams, because it was just so spread out.
Yeah, it was so spread out.
I mean, if you get 50 million views,
Yeah,
like
it's
you're gonna
like,
get some
they'll get their
attention.
attention.
Yeah.
And then it's funny to see that the following year, there's other creators like copying that format. Because I had never seen the format like that. And then the following years, it's just there's everyone like announcing funny iPhones like that.
Imitation is the highest form of
yeah,
flattery,
yes,
right?
it is,
there
it is.
you go. All right, you make a lot of content, social media content. You do a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference, or is it just all part of the same? You just got to do it all.
It's a good question.
It's a very good
It's
question.
a very good question. We
that
are asked a lot of
we
questions,
are
but this is a
going
good question.
to answer now. I think it's really personal. What do you prefer? Do you prefer shows or do you prefer video creation?
All.
Okay, I prefer shows.
Yeah.
No,
Feedback. Yeah.
I just love the stage feeling. It's my favorite thing.
It's exhilarating, man. Because I do stand up too, and
Sure.
like I try, I try. But it's a different feeling, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes, it
that's
is.
like standing in front of these cameras. Like way more people will see the online content all the time, but just standing in front of a room of like 20, 30 people even is just like.
Like, don't get me wrong. I am also a magic performer. I do love performing in general, but being able to create something behind the camera.
Thanks, man.
Is also fun because, again, we love creativity. Thank you very much. We love being creative. So being able to do anything that requires creativity is I'm all for that.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
I think what's more difficult about doing a show, especially comedy, because comedy magic and you used to have the trick to fall back on, even though it takes quite a lot of skills to do magic. But if the jokes don't work, you still have the trick, unless you mess up the trick, in which case.
So you're just hedging your bets.
But when you do stand-up comedy, it's so different compared to content writing, because when you do content, like when someone watches something, if they don't like it, they can just skip, right? Whereas when you do stand-up, if you don't like the guy, you still have to stare at him.
True.
And that guy still has to convince you that he's funny, which is a horrible feeling. We've both been on that. Yeah. Well, I mean, because you started stand-up comedy like less than a year ago, right?
Just a few months ago. No, just 3 or 4 months. I have a new night, by the way. I have an open mic night on Mondays at 4:20. If you want to come through sometime.
4:20 p.m.
No, 4:20, the rooftop bar.
Okay.
In Osok, if you guys know it. Yeah.
I'll do a set for you if you want. We can do a
set. Let's do it. Every Monday is my new night. So it's
great. Nice.
Super fun.
But yeah, so when you start, it's you learn the hard way, but the good way, what pleases an audience and what doesn't.
I think that's a challenging thing, because what you're putting on display is your ideas, right?
Yes.
And that you don't know how people are going to react to it until you do it.
It all comes down to trial and error. The more you do it, the better you get. It's like you have to fail many times. We all know this saying: fail many times to like.
100%, yeah. And the hardest part for me was ripping that Band-Aid and getting up on stage. So how do you guys psych yourselves up? How did you? Well, I know you had the bug. You always wanted to perform, but do you still get nerves?
Yeah. For me, I'm panic attacks before every show almost. But it's part of it. Nervous means you care. I don't like it if I'm not nervous. Actually, it's not a good feeling.
The thing is, when you've been performing for so long, and the moment you get up on stage, this doesn't really mean for us, but for everyone who's in the entertainment industry, the moment you get on stage, the moment you see the crowd, that's when you sort of, I hope for most people, just switch to your performance mode, and then your nervousness goes away.
It takes a few minutes, though. It's not instant.
Yeah.
Because it takes the first claps.
I think that's
the first
very
clap
well said.
or the first laugh. Yeah. That's when you have it. That's when you know you have it.
And then you switch to autopilot a little bit.
Then you switch. Then you switch to your comfort zone. It becomes something comfortable.
Exactly. Yeah. Very well said. And it's a unique challenge, man. Like, it's so easy. You see like TikTok numbers blow up, YouTube numbers and stuff like that, but do it in front of people and see if people are willing to pay for it.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool, man. Like and your shows, like it's just amazing to me to be like a touring comedian, like what you've been doing over the past year, and now what you're both going to be doing in this new tandem show.
He was always
I know,
he always comes along unless he couldn't make it, but he always comes along and he does the sound and lights, and because the fans want to meet him too. Like, it's both. I was not going to force him to do comedy music. That's
your thing.
That's something he's into.
I'll just watch.
So when
skills,
because I had this show like written for like a year that I had nothing to do with, so I was like, might as well take this one on tour until we're ready with the new one, because I think it was kind of that Singing Funny was kind of a transition tour. It was kind of like something that I've just wanted to do, but not really like pushing it. But the next one we're really gonna tour it like a lot.
Blast it. Nice.
Yeah. Well, because we know it's very good. We know it can, please a lot of people, because the thing with my previous show, Singing Funny, it's more, even though it was enjoyable for everyone, I guess you need to be kind of a fan of the channel to go watch it.
I understand.
Even though anyone can watch it, but
But now how you came up with the show, it's for everyone. Yeah. You don't have to be a follower or subscriber of the channel.
Yeah. And the new one, number one, you get those two guys, and but it's also a magic show.
Yeah.
So we are gearing it towards families mainly.
perfect, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, do you guys have any interesting stories from the road from this past tour? Do you guys have anything shocking? Well, let me ask you this: what was the worst night on the road?
Together?
India.
India? For me.
Together, India.
Together?
Landing in Kolkata.
Oh, yeah. In 2019.
That was the worst.
So we were touring a show called Here Comes the Secret, and I had organized the entire tour.
That was you?
Somebody
That was me. That was me. And so we were only doing 4 cities, so Kolkata, New Delhi, Mumbai, and Chennai.
4 cities?
4. We stayed in Mumbai 2 days, so 5 shows. Which is a lot less compared to the recent one we did, which was 10 cities in 11 days. That's a lot.
Yeah, he's moving around.
I love it. I love that life.
2 different people.
He hates it.
I hate it.
He likes to rest on between
Because
each
I
days.
feel you gotta rest before you put on a show to give good energy.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Some
But-
people function differently than I do.
Because for me, you can just flip the switch like before stage show time and just wake up. So the worst story is Kolkata, definitely, right? So we landed in we were handled by someone called Nasif and Raj. I'll say the names because they're amazing people.
They're great.
They
Fantastic.
are
They took really
amazing
good care
people.
of us.
It's just the circumstances went wrong. So yeah, it's not their fault. And so we landed in Kolkata at like 2 a.m. Something to perform like the following night. And so Raj, which is who is a comedian, he picks us up, right? He's picking us up, and he says, "Yeah, my job is to take you guys to a hotel. Let's go." And so we go to the hotel, and what we did not know, and what they did not know, is that in India, for a hotel to pass. A hotel needs to pass certain standards. Some Indian hotels are not allowed to have foreigners because they don't have the sanitary standards.
Oh,
Yes.
what?
So if you're a foreigner going to the hotel that we did that had those rules, get kicked out.
Yeah, so we arrive in the first hotel, which was our original hotel. We enter and we're like, hey, we have a booking for Charles and Tada. And they're like, oh, you guys are foreigners, right? No, we don't take foreigners. And so we're kicked out.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning.
I know.
3 a.m.
Oof, nightmare.
And so we go to another hotel. Same thing, they reject us. And then we go to a third hotel, and the third one is funny because we're like, hey, you take foreigners? They say, yeah, we take foreigners. And then they said, yeah, okay, please give me your passport. And they say, oh, you guys are Asians from Thailand. Okay, we only accept Indonesians for Asia. That's it. So no, we don't accept it. And so we're like, what? And then our taxi had just given up. He just went away because when the hotel told us that they would take foreigners, we send the taxi back, right?
No.
And so we walked in Kolkata, which is a very, it's known for being a dirty city, right? Rather. And so we tried to find a hotel at 4 a.m. with
Strolling our heavy luggage.
2 heavy suitcase.
50 kgs total?
Total, yeah. We are walking. There's no street lights. Everything was dark, so we are
Towels everywhere.
we are with our flashlights. We are walking in between people sleeping on the floor,
Whoa.
and we see like this hotel that we were told accept foreigners, and there's no lights outside. There's nothing, and like. We are in front. The door is locked, but we see a side door. We enter the side door. We're also with our flashlight. It's dark. We think we're in a haunted house. We arrive at the reception counter. I ring the bell, and as I ring the bell, there's a guy who jumps up from the.
Oh my God, dude, that's insane.
It's like it's like ding, hello.
That's amazing.
And so basically, we look and there's like we see his bed behind.
That's what we call customer service.
That's amazing.
It's great. And so he says, yeah, they accept foreigners, they accept us, and and like
Happy
I remember
ending.
he's like, can I have your passports? He lays down again on his bed because the copier is right next to his bed. So he's like, 1 sec. All right, please sign here. And then we enter the room. But we were so tired that at this point we're like, all right, who gives a shit? Let's just go. Yeah. And so we enter the room.
What was that?
We open the door. It's knocking on the bed.
bed.
Like, so we get in the room like this, like this, and then we look at the bathroom, and like
It's bigger than the bedroom.
It's bigger than the bedroom.
You sleeping in the bathtub
Yeah,
or something?
there's no running water.
Oh.
There's running water in the morning, so you have to fill a huge bucket to wash yourself with. There's holes in the bed sheets.
This is our first time in India, by the way.
Wow.
And so what I
warm
did,
welcome.
I called every single promoter the following morning, and I said, guys, listen, I don't care if we're losing money in this show, but in this tour, please change all of our hotels to at least 4 or 5 stars. We're not coming otherwise we're going back.
I mean, we were saying that to justify all of
Yeah.
this arrogant sort of. It's not arrogant, but
No, it's just
it's just it's
That
our
sounds
first
terrible.
time in India.
you need a certain
We're
comfort,
touring.
a certain one.
You know,
yeah.
we need to be in a comfortable place.
And I remember for
completely.
the last day in Chennai, I told the promoter, it's okay, we'll handle the hotel ourselves, and I took us the best hotel in
Yes, thank
Chennai.
you.
And so we were like, we felt
ordering
so.
room
service.
service, and we're
Love
just
it.
like, dude, this is what we need.
You've earned it at that point. My God, that was terrible. Well, funny story. I like the guy popping up like
whatever money was
Crypt
made
Keeper or whatever.
from the tour went all in the last hotel.
But here's the thing,
like the best one.
overall,
At least you enjoyed it.
overall touring, it's great. We meet great people, especially the sponsors. People are helping us out. It's a blessing. We have fans all over, the world pretty much, and be able to meet them, see what their story is. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the people we work with, like the promoters are great. It's like sometimes there's tour days that we come back from, they were not sold out, and we had the best time ever. For example, every time we went to the Philippines, we were taken care of so well by
love it.
by
Philippines, one of the best.
by Dilip and his wife.
Yeah.
Hi, if he's looking. And and sometimes it's better than having a sold out show, but the promoter treated you like. Yeah.
I mean, it's all working
Which has
relationships, right? Like, so, just be nice. Because I know in this game, like, promoters can be cutthroat, too, a little bit.
absolutely,
So.
I'll drop names. So,
Well, anyway, speaking of getting in trouble, have you ever gotten in trouble for, like, any of the jokes or any of the material you've ever done?
I can talk apart from the channel.
okay, talk about the channel.
Okay, let's just say all our social platforms, Facebook and YouTube mainly. Yes, we upload lots of content that deals with sarcasm, satire, whatever. We like to just be free with our thoughts and creativity. That means it includes swearing, politics, and this and this and that. Yes, if you're asking if we get in trouble, we get in trouble with the comments, the fans and stuff. They're like, oh, this is not appropriate. You shouldn't say this. It's not right. Or this and that.
There's no avoiding that, I
Yeah,
feel
there's
like.
no avoiding
yeah.
it. It's like, you know what? So in terms of trouble, that would be, for the comedy, that would be one side.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there another?
No, we started some trouble at one show at some point. I remember in 2015. I'm not sure if you remember, but we were doing like a show together, and there's this the following artist. The artist was coming on next
Singer.
after. Yeah, singer. She breaks one of our props because the prop is so expensive, and I'm like, wait, what? And it was starting in our career, so it's not like we could afford to get a new one. And
Magic props are expensive.
very.
Yeah, I bet.
Very. And so, or we have to make them, which also costs effort and time.
Sure.
And so for me, I walk up to the singer and I say, hey, can you pay me back? And she says, yeah, of course. And the producers of the show had separated us because they did not want us to talk or to create anything to start any trouble.
Instead,
and so
they created.
yeah, and so I started fighting with them because I was like, "Hey guys, I have the same show." No, because they hired us for two days in a row. So I was like, "We have no show for tomorrow."
True.
So in the end, they paid us
Oh.
the prop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But did we get any trouble? I guess sometimes
Comedy-wise?
Audience.
comedy.
That one time went to jail though.
But duo show wise, yes, maybe some people would tell us, the producer would tell us, hey, please don't do that joke again. That's it.
Yeah.
But because they found it too inappropriate, but it depends on the crowds again.
Yeah, but here's the thing about trouble. Charles and I, we're very aware. We are thoughtful with what we say and what we create or what we do. So 9 out of 10 times we avoid trouble. We
Yeah.
avoid issues because we don't like drama.
Right, who does? Like, yeah, it's never.
The internet
never fun.
loves drama. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, the faceless warriors behind their keyboards. That's
Yeah.
always going to be a problem. Yeah, I try not to read my comments section too much. So, what is the collaborative process like? How do you guys bounce each other? Like, do you bounce ideas off each other? Do you write your own stuff and then come and polish it together?
it's all of that.
It's all of that. It's when it comes to shows. No, sorry. When it comes to videos, usually
Either of us comes up with the concept.
Yeah.
If we agree on it,
Yeah.
we do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like sometimes he's gonna write a script on his own. Sometimes I'll write a script on my own. Sometimes we just have an idea and we just sit down and we just But I think what's interesting is the collaboration process is for example, if I write a script, I'll just give it to him and then I'll let him direct it, because we share that vision, and and vice versa. I guess if he has a script,
Another great thing is we do share the same sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like Charles said, same sense of vision. So if we're writing on a concept, let's just say, okay, we want to make this, and this, and that. We just dive right in, and then we're pretty much ourselves, even when we're writing. Because like in person, we're pretty like, we like to fuck around. We love to troll people. We like to joke.
Comics.
No matter, right? So when we're in the writing process, we have that same element into the writing process. So if we see something that's really funny and that tickles our bones, we go, okay, we go for it.
Yeah.
And we just filter out what's good and what's not as good, and then we just use the best.
And same thing for shows on stage. It's either he's gonna have an idea or I'm gonna have an idea. And what I've been doing lately, which has been really fun, was to take like classics of magic and try to make them as much as possible duo, so that they could fit the stage. And so that's what, because we've seen, well, I'm not sure about you, but I've seen many duo shows where, like especially at the amateur level, where it doesn't feel like a duo. It feels like they're just like doing like one thing after the other.
Oh no, I've seen it.
Or
I've seen it many times. Yeah.
And so I really wanted to avoid that. We want to avoid that. Of course, it should really feel like
there's two people
like
on
working
stage.
together.
Yeah,
the
working
illusion.
together. It's more impressive.
And so
Yeah, of
trying to do that for an hour. That's
Yeah.
been the new challenge. But I think we got it.
We got it.
The new one. Whenever you see that full show, which won't be on the on the second, but you'll see a snippet of it.
Yeah.
Like an
At least.
example of a duo magician would be, I'm pretty sure you've heard of him, Las Vegas, Penn and Teller.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Right? Teller's
I've
the
seen
one who doesn't talk. Penn does all the talking, but they complement each other.
wonderfully.
And so here we have I guess that's another important thing about having a good duo is you need to have contrasting characters.
Yeah.
If you have
Same.
if you have the two same characters, it just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sure, it works. People will be like, "Oh, wow, they are well synced," but it doesn't create any, there's no drama. You need some sort of drama on
conflict,
stage.
right, yeah.
You need, yes,
Having
conflict.
two
Conflict
distinct
is the word.
characters, also it's memorable.
Yeah.
You remember two. You don't
Yes.
just remember the show or one.
Yes.
You remember the two characters.
And also you will side with one character. For example, what we try to do in the duo show, especially since it's built for families, is that I want all the children to always side with Tada, and I want all the adults to side with me and the children to hate me.
Right.
Pretty much.
Face
That's
and
the
heel
idea.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so that means we can play off of each other. So like he can play a prank on me or vice versa.
Yeah. The
And
thing
yeah.
with duo is there's so much potential. There's so much potential for comedy, for tricks, for anything, for a premise of anything. It's
But
great.
tricks are never designed for that. Tricks are often designed for like one solo performer.
Right,
And
yeah.
so trying to make it as a duo, that's always challenging but very fun.
Proud to say we've been doing this duo magic for like almost a decade here in Bangkok, so
Yeah.
we're really proud of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, really proud of
Yes.
that.
Yeah, man, it's a really fun show. What I've seen, like your show, I'm looking forward to more of a pure magic show. I guess is what's coming up next week.
Yeah.
So
Magicians.
that'll be
That's
fun.
pretty much it, yeah.
Well, you guys brought up Penn and Teller. I've seen Penn and Teller a few times. I'm
no
a
way.
big fan. And they also have that show. Just back to like revealing tricks again, but that's at the highest level. Have you seen their show?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Fool
Fool
Us.
Us.
Exactly.
Fool Us, right.
Like
It's where magicians fool the master magicians.
right. The ethics
Yeah.
on that are okay, right? Like
Yeah,
that's,
it's
that
okay.
checks
Oh,
out.
no, the ethics on- no, because if you when they are, it's like because it's magicians doing tricks to
volunteering
them.
it, right, yeah.
But also Penn and Teller, they never like they use code terms to reveal that
Cryptic
to either
code.
say that they know or that they don't know.
So after the tricks, when it's done performing,
Yeah.
the judges would then start to comment. That's when
Yeah.
Penn and Teller speak in code, so that
Yeah.
the audience member, the layman,
Yeah.
won't understand
Yeah.
what the magician's saying, but only the magician will understand.
We understand what's being said,
Yeah.
but
Magicians would.
Very fascinating.
very good,
That's
yeah.
cool, man.
Indeed.
And so, what about your comedic inspirations? Who have you guys looked up to in terms of comedy?
It's been depends, but I think the one comedian that we both love and that isn't. He does not influence our comedy at all. He influences who we are in real life, I think.
Yeah.
But it's Louis C.K., I think I'm correct.
For me, it's one of them is Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
I
top
got
dog.
you into Bo Burnham.
Yes, true.
Bo Burnham. if I don't know if you noticed, but Charles's style sort of leaned towards Bo Burnham.
Yeah,
you know,
because it's
Bo?
and
Your cerebral ending, I remember
that.
that. Like,
yeah, I think it's the fact that Tada showed me Bo Burnham. It really taught me that it was okay to do a show that had like 5,000 different types of arts in it. Because for me, I love composing music, and I was always composing it for our shows most of the time. And then I had like funny songs on the side, and when I saw Bo Burnham, I'm like, oh, so it's possible to do a show like that then. Okay, let's do a show like that. And so, yeah.
Multi-Hyphenates, man. Like everybody doing everything all at once.
I like
really
that
cool.
actually. It gives more personality to your show, I guess.
My inspiration for comedy, it's so many.
Yeah.
Family Guy,
Sure.
American Dad, Futurama. We got like Louis C.K., Kevin Hart. You can name it. It's like I delve into dark comedy. I love dark comedy. I like who doesn't? Well, small
Some people
percentage
don't,
does
but
not. Yeah. And for me, like that's pretty much like a lot of the influences in comedy. It's like I would love to do stand up, but I don't think it's for me. I love watching stand up. It's not for me. But that's part of the side of the channel where I sort of also bring in the dark humor. Same with Charles, of course. Like, what would you say would be your influences, like in comedy?
My influences are French actually,
French.
because I was born and raised in France, so I
Is that where you get your name? Sorry.
the Charles a French name. Oh, that came. I think I told you. Did I tell you before where it
I'm
came
not sure.
from?
No, where? Yeah.
No. Okay. You want to know?
I do.
Okay, so,
I'm all ears.
so I was an exchange student in the U.S. and I was doing a talent show, and the MC showed up very last minute, completely unprepared, and so it turns out on the lineup there were two Charleses, right? And the guy who performed before me was called Charles, and he was like doing like a guitar solo, like very, very cool, like very talented. And so the MC was like, "Hey, that was Charles playing guitar, everyone." And the next performer is Charles. Oh, he's from France. All right, please welcome Charles the French, everyone. And it's a night that I did, I think, decently well. And so when people approach you after and said, "Hey, you're Charles the French. Are you Charles the French? Hey, you're Charles the French," and that's it. It just stays.
Stuck.
It
Yeah.
stays. It was not a big show. It was like 70 people, maybe, but
Hey, 70.
you know, it's
still,
yeah.
I still think it's big. I still think 50 is a lot. I still
Yeah.
think that's a lot.
I'm impressed.
Well, because shows in America actually, oddly, they are like
Bigger.
Yeah, because I was doing I was doing lots of shows in churches and like St. Patrick's Day type of fairs
wow.
and stuff like that. So like very often, Americans always like bigger. So like 70 people is actually small, and the shows were like for 400 people at least every
Whoa,
time. Yeah,
dude.
that was not the only one,
amazing.
yeah, of course, on stage, but yeah.
Still, it's funny just how things. People call me Thaiger all the time. Just they think that's my name or something. It's really weird. So it's weird how these things stick. And then you gotta roll with it because it's like sort of
Yeah.
an identifier and it keeps you standing
We
out.
call each other baby all the time.
Yeah.
Sweet. It's
No,
okay.
not
Any,
really.
any
No, we
story
don't. We
behind
don't
that?
mean to. That's the thing.
Hey, baby.
Just,
You don't mean to.
Babe, don't say that.
It just comes out naturally.
Yeah.
Oozes out, babe.
By the way, I was going to say, Futurama's back.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
looking
cool.
forward to it.
It's already happening.
Every comedy TV series, if you ask me, I know all of it and I can rank it for you how I like it. It's towards
Beautiful.
me,
A
yeah.
connoisseur.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I got you into The Office. You love The Office, don't you? You're a huge fan of The Office.
Yeah, well, I
Oh, he's
I
putting
saw
words.
a few episodes before you made me watch the whole series.
Oh yeah, you needed to. Watch
and
the
now
whole
I know it
thing.
more than you, I think.
Yes, you do.
Because
yes,
for,
you do.
for me, I think my problem is when I watch a series, it's a real commitment. I'm not going to watch it once. I'm going to
yeah.
watch it 5 times until I know it by heart.
Whoa.
I'm the guy who watches
Committed.
everything, and I just go right into it.
Yeah.
I try to get him to watch many things that I watch. I try, but then he's just like, nah, 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 and then later you would. Then you would
No, because when I get into it, it's a commitment.
commitment.
Like
Yeah.
I don't half-ass it when I
There
watch
you
a
go.
series.
Full ass only.
Yeah. So Big Bang Theory, The Office,
Big
The
Bang
Good
Theory,
Place.
I never really got into.
Yeah. Oh, you liked a couple of
I
jokes
liked
from
it,
them,
but
yeah.
it's not my
Penny. Bazinga.
Bazinga.
That's my spot. What? That's my
Yes,
spot.
That's my spot. Yes.
You got some
Yeah.
Sheldon vibes going on, Charles,
Yes.
too.
Yes, I agree,
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you know. I mentioned this many times. He actually has the same checkered suit
Oh.
that Sheldon wears.
Yes.
Same.
That can't be by
Same.
accident.
Different,
Right?
different
I don't
colors,
think
different
so.
colors.
it looks the same
It's
to
a
me.
it's a different color.
I was like, okay.
Channeling the energy still.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what you do when you get influenced by many things. You sort of, take a bit towards yourself. Me too. Same thing.
Same.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
It's
that
natural.
checkered suit is the tailor who said you should do that for
Oh,
magic.
for
It
real?
would look cool.
Oh.
No, that reminds me of that Louis.
Yeah.
Speaking of Louis, that Louis episode where he confronts Dane Cook about the
Love,
stolen
yeah.
joke
Ah,
and
his
stuff
TV
like
series,
that.
right?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Love Louis C.K.
And that's the thing,
Right.
everything's a remix, right? Everybody's sort of sucking up influence from everything
true,
that
without
they're
even
doing.
knowing.
Exactly.
Without
Sometimes
even
without
knowing.
knowing.
That's what I
Yes.
mean. That's what that
true.
conflict was,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
don't think that he really believed he stole it. So, like,
Yeah.
That was a
I think it
great topic. That was a great topic.
fascinating episode
Really
that one
good.
was. I really loved
Really
that.
good.
I couldn't believe that it happened because it was such a controversy for such a
Yeah.
long time, and then they
Yeah.
just hashed it out.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yes.
Are we ready? All right, sorry.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna try something weird,
Uh-huh.
right? It's not something classic.
Okay.
Here, we have a pack of cards. Right?
All are different.
Okay?
None
all
are
are
the same.
different and all except for one. Actually, could you please remember this image, this moment in time
Okay.
when the cards are like that? Can you remember
One
that?
card in the middle facing down.
Sure.
Okay, good. Now, we need you to take one card. Once again, they're all different. Just go ahead, take one.
Any.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Okay. Look at it, remember it, and show it to the camera. It's very important. We're not looking.
Promise we won't.
All right.
Great. Now, we're going to ask you to put your card back, but that would be too easy.
Okay.
So we're going to make our job even harder. I'm going to take, let's say, half the cards facing up, and I'm just going to mix it in the facing down piles. So if you can see clearly with the camera, hopefully you can see, cards are jumbled. They're facing up, facing down. It's a mess. Now, if I take your card back, please don't forget, and we place it in the deck, now it's much harder because, it's facing up and facing down. Matter of fact, I'll make this our job even harder. I'm going to take half the cards more, and I'll weave them in just like this.
Do you notice the use of the word weave?
I did.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Very well said.
Right?
Thank you, thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Now, we need your help. So as you can see, cards are really messy, face up and face down. Can you take out your phone and open the camera, please?
Sure.
And Tada is gonna instruct you on what to do next. He wants you to hold on to the cards, and so
Okay.
we're going
Pass
to
the
make you a
phone.
Sure.
magician.
Now,
Alright.
you hold out your right hand like this. We're going to ask you to hold on to this fan of cards, and we're going to take a picture of you.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, so hold it nice and tight.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, you got it?
Got it.
Fantastic.
Just so
Oh,
you have the memory for
Right.
future. Is just everything. There you go. Okay, great. Smile, Alex. 1, 2, 3. Good. I took two.
Nice.
Wait, let me do one vertical.
do one vertical?
One vertical.
Okay,
vertical.
okay, okay.
Alright. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, such a
Yes. Looks great.
Thank you very
Alright,
much, Alex.
I'm gonna
No
lock
problem.
your phone and I'm gonna leave it face down.
Sounds
Alright?
good.
All right, fantastic. So you can see the entire cards. It's just a big,
Yes.
huge mess.
Right now, I don't know if when you were holding the cards you saw your card. Don't tell us, right? As you can see here, we're just analyzing the pattern because what we're doing, we are trying to deduce what your card is.
That's
Okay.
right.
We're just looking through the pattern.
And of course, if you
if
see
you see
it,
your card, obviously don't say anything. Maybe you
Right.
saw your card, maybe you didn't. Don't tell us.
Not telling you.
Don't tell.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Very good.
Paying
very
attention.
Good. Very good.
I want to ask you something. Do you remember when the cards? Because right now the conditions of the cards are pretty much like this.
Sure.
Now-
Weaving.
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 Right. Do you remember when? How many minutes would you say that the cards were unwoven back to
Unwoven.
normal? Like not jumbled up. What would you say?
when there was only one card that was flipped over?
Yeah,
Is that
how
what you're
many
saying?
minutes ago?
Say 3 minutes.
minutes
something
ago.
like that, yeah.
Right. So now, at the time of filming, it's 4:28.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna go back in time 3 minutes.
Okay.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
You ready?
Ready.
Look at the time. All right. One,
two,
two,
three.
three.
Ooh.
Now, if it says 4:26
26,
here,
okay.
that means you can check your watch. You can check
out-
your phone on your. It's actually 4:26.
Is it?
So it looks
It's
like everyone here
4:26, yes.
in the studio, everyone's time went back. So
Whoa.
that means if we really went back 3 minutes, what do you think that means?
That means that my card is in the same.
Well, do you remember when the
Oh,
deck
yeah,
was
yeah.
all mixed up and jumbled?
Yeah.
If we really did went back 3 minutes, that means the
It should
entire
be
deck
unjumbled.
should be completely.
Gasp. And don't tell me.
That we actually went back to this moment in time that we were telling you at the beginning. What was your card?
Do I tell you now?
Yes, please.
It is the 8 of Hearts.
By all means, have a look. Show it to the
Oh my goodness.
Was it?
How'd you do that?
Was it?
8 of hearts.
Yes.
Bam.
Thank you very much. Now, we did take a picture of you before this entire thing happened. Remember when you were holding that fan really nice?
Like it
all
was
jumbled
yesterday.
up?
Yeah.
Like it was like it was a few minutes ago.
So if the entire deck here is now back 3 minutes ago, back to where a moment in time they remembered. That would mean something. Could you actually open your phone?
Let's have a look at the picture.
My goodness. All right, let's pick out the photo. Oh, don't look at that one. What? How? How?
See?
Further. Ridiculous.
Does it look exactly like this?
It does.
It does.
All right, cool.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That
Thank you
was
very much.
Yes.
very impressive, guys.
Thank you.
And Tada
very cool.
keeps it as a souvenir.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Wow.
Back into my pants right here.
Your deck holder.
Yes,
That's
my
good.
deck holder.
I love it. Cool, guys. All right. Is that it? Any other tricks? or is that good?
I think it's good enough.
That was fantastic.
Stop being so insistent.
Wow,
Alex,
I don't know.
stop it.
I want more.
I don't know. It's
Come to the show. You'll see more.
next Saturday.
for sure. Yeah. Now, if you enjoyed this, the show does not have that.
Oh, fantastic. Well, okay.
It has. This is actually. I think this was our best performance ever.
It'll always
So
be
anything we do from now on is only
downhill from there.
Well, at least
only
it's
downhill.
memorialized.
Yes,
Got it.
yes,
So,
memorialized. Beautiful word.
Well, thank you guys. I love it. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm very excited for your show next Saturday,
Thank
September
you.
2nd. That is right.
Second
second and a third.
at
Second and third.
at the Alliance Française, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m.
2 shows per day, one at 2 p.m. and one at 7 p.m.
That's
Then
what I
we
just
got
said.
indeed.
That's
we
literally what
got
I
a
just
matinee
said.
and an
You
evening show.
repeated what I just said. Do
All right, boys. Well, thank you so much for coming.
to us?
you want to switch watches?
Is he talking to
Jesus
us?
Christ! I'm just trying to end this show. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 4:20.
Oh.
Hey!
No, it's not. I got you.
I'm ready for it. That means I'm overdue. All right, boys. Well, thank you for coming.
I know,
I
right?
hate this guy.
Like, what the right?
This guy,
He thinks like he works here.
We're done here. All right, boys. I'll see you at the show.
See you.
Bye, guys.
You guys, take care. Take care.